So you're sitting at your desk, you've finally carved out some time to work on your story, but now you're drawing a blank. You're not sure what should happen next. In this video, I'm going to share an easy method to make it obvious to you what should come next in your story. And it has nothing to do with writer's block. Because most writers, when they can't think of what to write, they immediately think it's writer's block. But the problem is, writer's block is a hazy problem, which means you have to find hazy solutions to solve it. Maybe take another walk, go meditate under a waterfall and hope the words start flowing. Now maybe you are burned out and need to cool off, but for most of you watching, the problem isn't that your imagination has flown off, never to return, and your best writing days are behind you. Instead, your problem and the solution are much more straightforward. If you don't know what to write next, the real problem is the last scene you wrote. The reason why this is likely your problem is because when scenes have great momentum, the next scene feels practically inevitable. But if your scene doesn't have enough momentum to keep the story moving, of course it's going to be hard to write the next scene. It's like trying to light a fire by rubbing two pieces of wet wood together. Even Popeye would have a hard time with that. So the answer to your writing problem is to actually go back a scene and make sure that scene's got dry wood to start a real fire. And next, I'm going to show you practically what to do with your last scene so that the next one writes itself. To make it as simple as possible for you to apply these steps to your own story, I've made a handy little cheat sheet you can download in the description, so make sure to pick that up. So the first thing we're going to do is look back at your past scene and find the friction. You need friction if you're going to start a fire using only sticks, right? Well, you need friction if you want your story to heat up too. The reason you need friction in your story is because that's how you seed the possibility of things going somewhere. As an example of how no friction means no movement, think about the best beach trip you've ever had in your life. First, you slept in and lazed around in bed for the first time in a whole year because there's no alarm clock urging you to wake up. Then you grab some coffee and donuts off the counter because there's no longer any pressure to diet to get that beach body because you're already at the beach. Then eventually you slip on a swimsuit, set up a folding chair, and you just vibe. Reading a book, listen to the waves. Because for once, your boss isn't breathing down your neck about some project you have to do. So in your perfect no-friction beach day, you don't get anywhere because there's nobody pushing you to do anything. No friction, nothing to do. That's all well and good for a vacation, but you don't want your story to be the equivalent of a Jack Johnson song. Books have to take you places, and the friction that moves story forward is called conflict. So step one is look at your scene and ask, where's the conflict? Look in 3 different areas. You want at least one of these. First, you've got personal conflict. This is a tension between characters. Think disagreements or fistfights. Then you have extra-personal conflict. This is tension from the world or from a situation. Think running away from giant boulders or your football team being down 3 points in the last minute of the game. And then you have psychological conflict. This is stuff in your character's head. Think like uncertainty about what they should do or guilt for eating the last donut at the beach house. If you don't have a source of conflict, you need to engineer one by making your point of view character want something and then putting something in their way. Now, if you're having trouble stirring up conflict, you probably have an issue with your character's motivations. And if you'd like a super easy way to modify your characters to make your plot come easier, you'll want to check out my writing course called Story Juice. It's a super easy way to build characters that write your story for you. I'll put a link down in the description so you can check it out. But assuming you can drum up some kind of conflict for your point of view character, you're now ready to make sure that friction has enough force to drive your plot into the next scene with energy to spare. And to do that, we need to make sure that friction in your scene causes a fire. And what better place to put that fire than right under your character? Lighting a fire under your character is important because it gives you that, oh no, things are on fire energy. You can be certain your character is going to take action if the friction in the last scene caused a fire. And that's going to make it way easier for you to write the next scene. So in your last scene, the way to make sure you have a hot enough fire under your character is to end that scene with either yes but or no and. So let me explain what that is and why that's important for your writing. Back in the first step, I said your character needs to want something, and there needs to be something in the way of them getting it. So now we need to bring that conflict to a conclusion, and you have one of two options. The character either got what they wanted or they didn't. But now we need to make sure that whichever of these two outcomes happened to your character, they end up with a fire under them. Here's how you do it. You have to make sure your scene ends with either yes, but, or no, and. I'll explain these one by one. First, let's assume your character gets what they want at the end of the scene. They win the argument. The problem with this is, if we leave it at that, you've got no fire under the character, and therefore they have no reason to do anything in the next scene except sit on a beach chair and sip adult beverages. The way we get around this is the yes, but. Yes, your character gets what they wanted, but this triggers a new complication for them. Think about Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yes, Indiana Jones gets his hands on the golden idol, but that triggers a huge boulder that wants to smush him. And your second option for ending a scene is that your character doesn't get what they want. But the problem with this is if it simply ends there, we again have no clear direction for the next scene. So we solve this with the no and. This is where your character doesn't get what they want, they lose, they're set back, and this failure opens up a fresh problem for them that didn't exist at the start of the scene. For example, in the Fellowship of the Ring, the Fellowship wants to cross the mountain pass of Caradhra. But Saruman gives them a big fat no by sending a snowstorm, and because of this, they now have to go through the dangerous mines of Moria. So check your last scene and make sure it ends with one of these. Because if your chapter ends with no fire, you won't be giving your story things are on fire energy. You'll be giving it close the book energy. And the last step is where we get to enjoy the payoff. Because you put friction in your last scene and ended it with a fire under your character, that means you now get to watch the fire spread. When you have a good campfire going with dry wood, all you need to do is stack on more wood and the fire will take care of itself. And story scenes build off their own momentum in the same way. The magic that makes this story momentum happen is this sweet, sweet thing called cause and effect. Your character just got a fire lit under them, so they literally can't sit still. And that momentum of them having a problem they can't just sit with is the movement that writes your next scene. So as you sit to write, simply get into your character's head and ask, if this thing just happened to me, what would I be forced to try next to get what I want? We don't need to make plot any more complicated than this. In fact, if you're writing scenes by just making crazy random things happen to your character, it's going to confuse you and the reader because the story isn't growing out of this simple cause and effect. So instead, just make some tension happen in your previous scene, add a new complication at the end, and your next scene is just going to be what anybody would do if they were just put in that situation. It's as simple as that. Remember to download the cheat sheet in the description to help you apply this to your own story. And because even great scenes can be bogged down by weak writing, you should watch this video next to learn a dead simple way to write just like your favorite author.